The pen was still warm in my hand when my phone buzzed. Credit alert. Someone had just applied for a $75,000 business loan using my social security number. The thing is, I was sitting in my own living room. And that pen? I'd been using it to review my monthly budget. I hadn't applied for anything. I stared at the notification, my coffee getting cold on the table next to a stack of client portfolios. The timestamp showed 2:47 p.m. It was 2:48 p.m. Whoever did this was working fast, and they were working now. I'm Sarah Chen, 31 years old. I work as a senior financial advisor for Meridian Wealth Management here in Portland, Oregon. I help people protect their money, plan for retirement, avoid financial disasters. Ironic, considering I was about to discover the biggest financial disaster of my life was happening right under my nose. My phone buzzed again. Another alert. This time for a credit card application. Then another. Someone wasn't just stealing my identity. They were strip mining it. If you want to know what happened next, keep listening. To understand how this happened, I need to take you back 18 months. That's when my mom, Linda, married Roger Hartwell. Roger came with a 24-year-old son named Blake, a failing construction business, and what I now realize was a very specific plan. See, I'd been the family success story since college. Full scholarship to Oregon State, finance degree, CPA certification by 25. While my mom worked double shifts at the hospital, I was building investment portfolios and helping clients navigate tax strategies. I bought my own condo at 28. I had a 401k, an emergency fund, excellent credit. Blake, on the other hand, had dropped out of community college, bounced between jobs, and according to Roger was finding himself. What he'd actually found was my mom's weakness for playing mother to lost causes. The wedding was small, just family. I remember standing in my mom's kitchen afterward, watching her beam at her new husband while Blake scrolled through his phone, ignoring everyone. Roger kept talking about blending families and how we're all in this together now. My mom pulled me aside that night. Sarah, honey, I know this is an adjustment, but Roger's been through so much with his divorce, and Blake just needs some guidance. You've done so well for yourself. Maybe you could help them get on their feet. I should have paid more attention to that word. Help. But that wasn't even the worst part. 3 months after the wedding, Roger's construction business started hemorrhaging money. A client lawsuit, delayed payments, equipment failures, the usual small business nightmare. Except Roger's solution wasn't to restructure or find new clients. His solution was to look at me like I was a walking ATM. Sarah's got connections in finance, I'd hear him tell my mom. She could probably get us a business loan, maybe co-sign something small. I said no. Politely, but firmly. I explained that mixing family and business was risky, that I could help him review his books or connect him with a business advisor, but I wouldn't put my credit on the line. Roger smiled and nodded. Of course, we wouldn't want to put you in a tough spot. Then something didn't add up. That credit alert wasn't random. I pulled up my credit monitoring app, hands shaking slightly as I scrolled through the recent activity. 3 loan applications, 2 credit card applications, all within the past hour, all using my information, but with Roger's business address. I called the credit monitoring company first. The representative confirmed what I already knew. Someone had my social security number, my mother's maiden name, my employment information, everything they'd need to apply for credit in my name. Ma'am, I'm showing 5 additional inquiries from the past 2 weeks, the representative said. Have you been shopping for loans recently? 5 additional inquiries. My stomach dropped. This wasn't a one-time thing. This had been going on for weeks. I hung up and immediately called my bank, then Equifax, then TransUnion. Each call revealed more damage. Someone had been systematically applying for credit using my identity, testing the waters with smaller amounts before going for the big score. The business loan application that triggered today's alert? It was for Roger's construction company, Hartwell Contracting LLC. The employment verification listed my job at Meridian Wealth Management. The income listed was my exact salary, down to the dollar. Only 3 people knew my exact salary: my boss, my accountant, and my mother. I sat in my car outside my mom's house for 20 minutes before going in. I needed to be calm, rational. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe someone had stolen mail, hacked accounts, found old tax documents. But when I walked into the kitchen and saw Roger quickly close his laptop, I knew. "Sarah!" My mom's voice was too bright, too cheerful. What a nice surprise. "We were just..." "Mom, I need to ask you something." I kept my voice level. "Has anyone asked you for my personal information recently? Social security number, employment details, anything like that?" The silence stretched too long. Roger cleared his throat. "Actually, Sarah, we were hoping to talk to you about something." Roger opened his laptop again. The screen showed a loan application portal, my information already filled in. My name, my social, my job, my salary, everything. "Now before you get upset," Roger said, holding up his hands, "let me explain. The business is going through a rough patch, but we've got 3 big contracts coming in next month. We just need bridge financing to cover payroll and materials." I stared at the screen. "You used my identity to apply for loans." "We used your credit profile," my mom corrected, like that made it better. Roger explained that with your excellent credit, we could get better rates. "It's not like we're stealing from you, honey. We're family now." "You committed fraud." "Don't be so dramatic," Roger said. "It's a family loan. You'd be helping us save the business, and we'd pay everything back with interest. You'd actually make money." I looked at my mom. She was nodding along, like this made perfect sense. "Mom, they forged my signature on loan applications. That's identity theft. It's a federal crime." "Sarah, please." My mom's voice took on that tone I remembered from childhood, the one that meant I was being unreasonable. "After everything we've done for you, everything we've sacrificed, this is how you repay us?" And there it was, the line I'd been dreading. "You owe us everything," she continued. "The roof over your head growing up, the food on the table, the support through college. We never asked for anything back, but now we're asking for help. And you're acting like we're criminals." Roger nodded sagely. "Family takes care of family, Sarah. That's what we do." I felt something cold settle in my chest. This wasn't a mistake or a misunderstanding. This was calculated. They'd planned this conversation, probably rehearsed it. "How many applications have you submitted?" I asked. Roger and my mom exchanged glances. "A few," Roger admitted, "just to see what our options were." "How many?" "Maybe 6 or 7. The credit monitoring company had said 5 inquiries in 2 weeks, plus the 3 today. That was 8. Roger was still lying. That's when I realized what this was really about. I left without signing anything, but I knew this wasn't over. Roger and my mom had invested too much in this plan to give up after one conversation. The next morning, my phone started buzzing. Text messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in months. "Heard you're having some family drama. Hope you can work it out. Your mom seems really stressed. Maybe you should call her. Family is everything, Sarah. Don't let pride get in the way." Then the group chat invitations started arriving. "Hartwell family updates." I declined the first one. They sent another. I declined again. The third time, my cousin Amy called me directly. "Sarah, what's going on? Your mom is saying you're refusing to help with some kind of emergency. What exactly did she tell you?" "That Roger's business is in trouble, and you won't co-sign a loan to help them save it. She's really upset. She says you told them you don't consider them family." "I never said that. but I could see how this was going to play out. My mom and Roger were crafting a narrative where I was the selfish daughter who abandoned her family in their time of need. Amy, they used my identity to apply for loans without my permission. That's fraud. Oh, come on. It's not like they're strangers. They're your family. Can't you just help them out? This conversation repeated itself 6 times over the next 3 days. Different relatives, same script. My mom had activated the Family Guilt Network, and they were all singing from the same hymn book. The worst part was the Facebook post. Sometimes the people you sacrifice everything for are the first to turn their backs when you need them most. Praying for wisdom and healing in our family. Bien, family, first you're heartbroken. 43 likes. 12 comments, all variations of sending prayers and family should stick together. My mom had gone public. She was betting that social pressure would force me to cave, that I'd sign the loan documents, rather than be seen as the daughter who let her family lose their home. But that wasn't even the worst part. The real scope of the damage became clear when I met with my attorney, David Kim, the following week. I'd brought every document I could find: credit reports, loan applications, bank statements, the works. David spread the papers across his conference table like he was assembling a puzzle. After an hour of review, he looked up with the expression lawyers get when they're about to deliver very bad news. Sarah, this is more extensive than identity theft. They've been using your credit profile as collateral for multiple financial instruments. He showed me a document I'd never seen before, a personal guarantee with my forged signature, backing a $150,000 line of credit for Hartwell Contracting. Another document showed my name as a co-signer on the mortgage refinance for my mom's house. When did they refinance the house? I asked. 3 months ago. The new mortgage is $280,000. The original was $120,000. They'd pulled $160,000 in equity out of my mom's house, using my credit to qualify for the loan. That money had gone straight into Roger's failing business. If the business fails, David explained, the creditors will come after you for the full amount. Your wages, your assets, your condo, everything. I stared at the documents. My signature, forged but convincing, my employment information, my financial history, weaponized against me. How is this legal? I never signed anything. It's not legal. It's fraud. But proving fraud takes time. And in the meantime, you're legally responsible for these debts. David pulled out a calculator. Total exposure, based on what we can document so far, is approximately $425,000. $425,000. More than my annual salary. More than my condo was worth. More than I had in savings, investments, and retirement accounts combined. There's more, David said. I ran a comprehensive credit check. There are 3 additional loan applications pending approval. If those go through, your total exposure could exceed $600,000. I felt the room tilt slightly. $600,000 in debt that I never agreed to, for a business I had nothing to do with, to benefit people who thought they were entitled to my financial life. Then something didn't add up. The ambush happened on a Tuesday evening. I came home from work to find my mom's car in my driveway, along with Roger's pickup truck. They were waiting in my kitchen, having let themselves in with the spare key I'd given my mom years ago. The kitchen table was covered with papers. Loan documents, business plans, financial projections. A pen sat in the center of it all, like an offering. "We need to talk," my mom said. Roger gestured to the chair across from them. "Sit down, Sarah. Let's work this out like adults." I remained standing. "You broke into my house." "I used my key," my mom said. "And this isn't breaking in. This is family." Roger tapped the papers. "We've been doing some thinking since our last conversation. You're right that we should have asked first. That's on us. But now we're asking. Officially. He slid a document across the table. This consolidates everything into one business loan. Clean slate. You sign as a co-signer, we get the funding we need, and everyone wins. I picked up the document. It was professionally prepared, complete with terms and conditions. The loan amount was $500,000. The term was 7 years. My name was already printed on the signature line. You want me to co-sign for $500,000. It's an investment, Roger said. The business is turning around. We've got contracts lined up, new equipment coming in. This loan gets us over the hump, and then we're profitable. My mom leaned forward. Sarah, honey, I know this seems like a lot, but Roger's shown me the projections. This business could be worth millions in a few years. I looked at the projections. They were fantasy. Revenue estimates that assumed every potential client would sign, cost estimates that ignored inflation and market realities, profit margins that existed nowhere outside of Roger's imagination. These numbers aren't realistic. You don't know the construction business, Roger said. I've been doing this for 15 years. Then why is your business failing? The question hung in the air. Roger's jaw tightened. It's not failing. It's going through a rough patch. Every business has rough patches. I set the document back on the table. I'm not signing this. My mom's face crumpled. Sarah, please. If you don't sign this, we lose everything. The house, the business, everything we've worked for. You should have thought about that before you forged my signature on loan documents. Roger stood up. You know what your problem is, Sarah? You've forgotten where you came from. You think because you've got a fancy job and a nice condo, you're better than the people who raised you. I think fraud is wrong. It's not fraud when it's family. I walked to my front door and opened it. Get out. Sarah, my mom started. Get out of my house. Now. They gathered their papers slowly, making a show of their disappointment. At the door, my mom turned back. I hope you can live with yourself, she said. When we lose everything, I hope you remember that you could have prevented it. After they left, I sat in my kitchen for a long time, staring at the pen they'd left behind. I wish I could say that was the end. The next morning, I called David Kim and told him we needed to accelerate our timeline. No more waiting to see what Roger and my mom would do next. It was time to build a case. I need you to document everything, David said. Every conversation, every text message, every email. Dates, times, witnesses. We're going to need a paper trail that shows pattern and intent. I started with my phone. Screenshots of every text message from my mom, Roger, and the various family members who'd been recruited to pressure me. I saved the Facebook post and all its comments. I printed email records going back 6 months. Then I got creative. I called my mom and asked if we could meet for coffee to talk things through. I recorded the conversation on my phone. In 30 minutes, I captured her admitting that Roger had used my personal information without permission, that they'd forged my signature on multiple documents, and that they expected me to take responsibility for debts I'd never agreed to. We're family, Sarah, she said on the recording. Family doesn't abandon each other over paperwork. Paperwork. She called fraud paperwork. David helped me request records from every financial institution that had received applications in my name. The timestamps told a story. The first application had been submitted the day after my mom's wedding. Roger hadn't even waited a month before starting his scheme. But the real breakthrough came when David's investigator ran a background check on Roger. Sarah, you need to see this, David said, sliding a folder across his desk. Roger Hartwell filed for bankruptcy in Nevada in 2018. Chapter 7, Complete Discharge of Debts. I opened the folder. The bankruptcy filing showed $340,000 in discharged debts, including business loans, credit cards, and a previous mortgage default. He's done this before. Gets better, David said. The bankruptcy trustee's report mentions irregularities in the filing. Specifically, Roger listed his ex-wife as a co-signer on several debts that she claims she never agreed to. Roger had used his first wife's credit to fund his previous business ventures. When that business failed, he'd declared bankruptcy and left her holding the debt. Now he was running the same playbook with my mom and me. There's more, David continued. I found 3 other businesses registered under Roger's name in the past 5 years. All failed. All left co-signers holding significant debt. This wasn't a family emergency. This was Roger's business model. Find women with good credit, gain their trust, use their financial profiles to fund his ventures, then disappear when the bills came due. That's when I realized what this was really about. The call came from Detective Maria Santos, with the Portland Police Bureau's Financial Crimes Unit. David had filed a fraud report, and they'd been investigating Roger's activities. Ms. Chen, we'd like you to come in for an interview. We've uncovered some information about Mr. Hartwell that you need to know. At the police station, Detective Santos spread out a file that was twice as thick as the one David had shown me. Roger Hartwell is part of an ongoing investigation, she said. We've been tracking a pattern of identity theft and financial fraud targeting women in blended families. She showed me photos of 4 other women, all between 30 and 45, all with good credit and stable jobs. All had been victimized by men who'd married their mothers, stepmothers, or close family friends. It's a specific type of fraud, Detective Santos explained. The perpetrator gains access to the family, builds trust, then systematically exploits the financial resources of successful adult children. Roger Hartwell has been doing this for at least 8 years. 8 years. Multiple families. Multiple victims. The woman in Nevada, his ex-wife, she's been helping us build the case. She lost her house, her business, her savings. Took her 3 years to clear her credit. Detective Santos pulled out another document. This morning, we executed a search warrant on Roger's home office. We found files on 12 potential targets, including detailed financial profiles, credit reports, and what appears to be a step-by-step guide for identity theft. She slid a photocopied page across the table. It was handwritten notes in Roger's writing. Target, Sarah Chen. Credit score 780+. Income $85K. No spouse dependents. Mother Linda. Emotional manipulation vector. Timeline 6 to 8 months to establish trust, then begin small applications. Key. Make it seem like family emergency. I stared at the page. My entire relationship with Roger reduced to a con man's notes. My mom wasn't his wife. She was his emotional manipulation vector. There's more, Detective Santos said. We found evidence that Roger has been coaching other men in this scheme. He's been running online seminars on how to identify and exploit high-value family targets. Roger wasn't just a con man. He was teaching other people to be con men. But that wasn't even the worst part. The arrest happened at 6:47 a.m. on a Thursday. I know the exact time because Detective Santos called me as they were putting Roger in handcuffs. We've got him, she said. 18 counts of identity theft, 12 counts of fraud, 6 counts of forgery. He's not getting out of this one. The charges were federal. The FBI had joined the investigation after discovering that Roger's scheme crossed state lines. He'd been running his family targeting operation in Oregon, Nevada, California, and Arizona. My mom called me 3 hours later, sobbing. They arrested Roger, she said. They came to the house with a warrant. They took his computers, his files, everything. Sarah, I don't understand what's happening. I met her at a coffee shop near her house. She looked like she'd aged 5 years overnight. Mom? Roger was running a con. He married you to get access to my financial information. She shook her head. No, that's not. We're in love. He loves me. I showed her the photocopied page from Roger's notes, the one where she was described as my emotional manipulation vector. She read it twice, her hands shaking. He said he loved me. He said whatever he needed to say to get what he wanted. The civil case moved quickly once the criminal charges were filed. David negotiated a settlement with the banks and credit agencies. All fraudulent debts were discharged. My credit was restored. The forged documents were voided. Roger's assets, what few he had, were seized to pay restitution to his victims. My mom's house was safe. The fraudulent refinance was reversed, and her original mortgage was reinstated. The best part was the restraining order. Roger was prohibited from contacting me, my mom, or any member of our family. He was also required to surrender his passport and remain in Oregon pending trial. 6 months later, Roger pleaded guilty to all charges. He was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison and ordered to pay $2.3 million in restitution to his various victims. The judge's words at sentencing stayed with me. "Mr. Hartwell, you didn't just steal money. You stole trust. You weaponized family bonds to commit your crimes. That makes your actions particularly heinous." 8 years. It wasn't enough, but it was something. Then something didn't add up. My mom and I didn't speak for 3 months after Roger's arrest. She needed time to process what had happened, to understand how completely she'd been manipulated. When she finally called, her voice was different. Smaller, but clearer. "I owe you an apology," she said. "I let him convince me that you were being selfish, that family meant we could ask anything of each other. I was wrong." We met for lunch on a Saturday afternoon. She looked healthier, like a weight had been lifted. "I've been going to therapy," she said, "trying to understand how I let this happen. The therapist says I was vulnerable after your father died, that Roger targeted that vulnerability. My dad had died when I was 26. My mom had been alone for 5 years before Roger came along. He made me feel like I was part of something again," she continued, "like I had a purpose. I wanted so badly to believe in this new family that I ignored all the red flags." We talked for 2 hours. She told me about the small lies Roger had told, the ways he'd isolated her from her friends, how he'd gradually convinced her that my success was somehow owed to them. "I'm proud of you," she said as we were leaving. "Not just for your job or your condo or your savings. I'm proud that you stood up for yourself, that you didn't let us destroy what you'd built." Today, my mom lives alone in her house. She's dating someone new, a retired teacher named Frank, who has his own pension and his own house and no interest in her daughter's credit score. She's learned to ask different questions. I still work at Meridian Wealth Management, but now I also volunteer with a nonprofit that helps identity theft victims navigate the recovery process. I've met dozens of people who've been through variations of what I experienced. The details change, but the pattern is always the same: trust, exploitation, and the weaponization of family bonds. The pen Roger left on my kitchen table sits in a drawer in my home office now. I keep it as a reminder that the people who claim to love you the most can sometimes be the ones who hurt you the worst. But also as a reminder that you don't have to sign anything you don't want to sign, no matter who's asking. Family doesn't mean you owe anyone everything. Family means you owe each other honesty, respect, and boundaries. Real love doesn't come with a loan application attached. If you've been through something like this, tell me in the comments. What would you have done? How do you rebuild trust after someone you love betrays it so completely? And if someone in your family is pressuring you to co-sign loans, to share financial information, to help out with money in ways that make you uncomfortable, trust that feeling. You're not being selfish. You're being smart. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for your family is to say no.